Hi, and welcome back to Thone's 1 Peter Nibbles number 107, Serving for God's Glory, Part 4 of 7. And we're going to be talking about stewardship today. And this is, one of those terms that we have has a churchy meaning. Stewardship means that you offer your offerings and you take care of the church facilities, but it's much more than that as well, particularly in ancient times. So let's think about this. This all comes from 1 Peter chapter 4, verses 7 through 11. Passing on the gift. You see, we have received a gift of eternal salvation from the Lord for saved people. And I'm presuming, I guess, maybe inaccurately, that everyone who listens or watches this or reads the text of this is a saved person. That's probably overlooked a few. And we just have to understand that we are who we are, and we know as saved people that we have received a great gift from God. And without giving up an ounce of that gift, by the way, God gives us it to hand over to others as well. So it's a gift that keeps on giving, literally. And we talk about that in commercials and so on. It's a gift that keeps on giving. But in this case, that is absolutely true. Every time there's a new level of salvation, and it's just like kind of like a tree. You plant certain seeds, and a few trees grow. And then they plant seeds, and then each of them has a few trees grow, and so on. So this truly is passing on a gift. So why is this in the Bible? It describes the proper functioning of Christian witnessing to others. Stewardship and passing on salvation. Wow. Communications. Pass the good news to all, not just some. And unfortunately, today's social media driven thinking has amplified what has always been a problem, and that is the difference between us and them. And us being people who talk like you, look like you, have the same complexion as you, have the same accent as you, or are indistinguishable from you, basically. And then there's them. And that's anybody that looks different, acts different, or talks different. We are to pass the good news to all, not just to some. And I'm incredibly adamant about this. This is one of my greatest issues with some of the political rhetoric of this day, is that it ignores our love for those who may be different. So let's dive in. Communications. Let me say it again. Pass the good news to all, not just some. application to me. Verse 10 points out the importance of why we remain in the world after our salvation. We are to be good stewards of our spiritual enlightenment. We have received an eternal gift from God, and now we are to share the glory of that gift to others, hoping that our witness to them will lead them to also receive that gift upon their acceptance of the Word of God in their lives. This may occur by our personal stewardship, or often by the beauty of one of the Lord's churches, all spreading this grand and glorious gift as one. So this works in both a personal ministry, like what I'm doing right now. I'm not representing my church here. I'm representing my thoughts. That's why it's called Thone's Thoughts, right? And I also, of course, then operate in a church, independent Baptist church environment as well, where I happen to be the music director, amongst other things. But and that's a joyful ministry also, because when you get a bunch of people with individual skills and talents together, that's a much more powerful witness than the witness of an individual with their skills, but then also their limitations. So that's the beauty of the church being one of the ways of doing this. I think witnessing is a one-on-one thing often, particularly, there has to be something that brings an individual to the church to begin with. And whether that's a crisis in their life, or utter boredom on Sunday morning, or whatever, or a friend inviting them. Once that happens, and that's, particularly the friend inviting is a kind of witnessing, but then it pulls in the whole church into that witnessing process, and that's a beautiful thing, because it's hard labor to do it yourself. So I just want to point out that there is a good place for both personal ministry and for church ministry, and I enjoy participating in both. Now, God leads us with all people as potential new next Christians. I mean, that is really we treat all people as specific. If we treat all people as potential next Christians, then suddenly all those other prejudice kind of things go away. The color of the skin, the accent of the language, the mode of dress, all of those things go away when we think of them as the next potential Christian. And I like that thought. My response is, Lord, thank you for giving and trusting us with your holy word, that we may be with great enthusiasm and vigor spread the gospel to all. Underline all, please, in your mind. We'll talk to you next time.